Hey everybody, welcome to PBM's Video Entertainment, and welcome back to another episode of PBM's Homie Reviews, a series to review and talk about movies. So, today we're going to be talking about a very curious monkey, well, pretty much everybody's favorite curious monkey, and I'm of course talking about Curious George. Yep, we're going to be talking about the very first movie of Curious George. So, without further ado, let's jump into the history of Curious George. So Curious George was originally released in theaters back in February 10th of 2006 by Universal Studios and Imagine Entertainment, and it received great reviews by both critics and audience. Then on September 26th of 2006, it was finally released onto DVD. Then on March 3rd of 2015, we finally got it on Blu-ray. And Curious George could also be found in the 3-movie set, which the 3 movies are Curious George 1, 2, and 3, and it also comes with the play set, which that's pretty cool. And of course, if you want more Curious George movies instead, there's also the 5-movie collection, which comes with Curious George 1, 2, and 3, and it also comes with 2 other Curious George movies. And now we got the history part done, let's jump into my copy of Curious George. Alright, we will now jump into my copy of Curious George. So, I just have the Blu-ray copy. I used to have the DVD copy as a kid, but it was like really scratched up, so yeah, I went ahead and got the Blu-ray copy, and obviously Blu-ray has better quality than DVD. So, take a look at the front poster art. Looks pretty nice. On the top, we've got Will Ferrell, which voices Ted, and we have Drew Barrymore, which voices Maggie, Ted's girlfriend. So, in here we have Curious George himself. You can see a little bit of some balloons, and they're at the zoo. The original full-length movie. Pretty nice. Spine. Let's see if we could pick up the quality. Sorry that my phone does not want to pick up the quality. Okay, there we go. Blu-ray disc logo. Kirk Buffalo of Curious George. And at the bottom, Universal Studios. And then the back, HD picture and theater quality sound. And blurb if you want to pause and read that. And here's your bonus features if you also want to pause and read that. And here we have George and Ted playing peekaboo. Rated G in the United States. And all that copyright information and everything. And the movie is approximately 1 hour and 28 minutes. And it's a 1-disc only Blu-ray. So here's the disc. And it does not tell you what region it is. And obviously this copy does not come with the DVD nor a digital movie code. Yep. And now, let's jump into the menu tour for Curious George. Alright, here's the menu tour for the Blu-ray copy of Curious George. Now, you're probably wondering why it looks like this. Well, once you insert the disc and it plays like one trailer from Curious George, like the movie will automatically play. But then once after the movie's like done, like for the menu tour, it'll, like once it takes you to the menu tour, the movie will keep playing, like, we'll replay, if y'all know what I mean, yeah. Anyway, so we have play, chapters, setup, and extras. Sorry if this part's, like, bright. Yeah. Anyways, let's go to chapters. So, for this one, we have 20 chapters to choose from. Yep, we have 20 chapters to choose from. And alright, menu. Sorry. Excuse me. So, for spoken language, we have English, Spanish, and French. We have English 5.1 DTS HD Master Audio, and then DTS Digital Surround, Spanish and French 5.1. And then subtitles, English, Spanish, and French. And extra features, we have Jack Johnson Upside Down music video with sing-along, deleted scenes, let's have a look at those. So we have Ted's time machine, Edu throws suitcase, the pet shop, the end tag, extended outfitters store, the inflatable rhino, the original lobby, Sparky grooms Ted, the hotel montage, Ted's nightmare, the balloon flight assault, Sparky blows up, Ted crashes the truck, Ted runs over Sparky, and the parade. Drawn to George, monkeying around, a very curious car, and monkey in motion. And yeah, that's it for the Blu-ray menu tour of Curious George. We're over here at this last part to talk about my review and thoughts on today's movie. So, let's talk about the story plot first. So, what is the story basically about? So, in the beginning part, we see George, the monkey, being, of course, living his monkey life in the jungle and everything. And then, meanwhile, over at the city, a man named Ted works at the Bloomsbury Museum, which is run by a man named Mr. Bloomsbury. And right now, the museum, it's right now, like, basically going out of business and stuff like that, and they have no idea how they're gonna, like, bring more people into the museum and stuff like that. And then Mr. Bloomsbury's son, Junior, he believes that that the museum should turn into a parking lot and everything. But of course, Ted, he had an idea. Like, they could find the giant idol called the Lost Shrine of Sagawa? I believe that's what it's called. Yeah. The Lost Shrine of Sagawa. Yeah, I think that's how you pronounce it. Anyways, so Ted, he so as Ted was getting ready, Junior obviously sets him up, like basically rips off the page and marks him, like, to where the X marks the spot and everything. And so Ted obviously gets a yellow suit and a hat, and then they set off to the jungle. And then, as they were, like, basically on their adventure, Ted meets up with a monkey named Curious George. Well, obviously, George was not given that name yet. He was basically just a monkey. And yeah, so they were having a good time in the jungle, like playing peekaboo and everything. Yeah. Anyways, and so Ted, of course, obviously went back to searching for the idol, and so all he found was a small, tiny version of the idol, and so he didn't know what to do next. So he decided to head back home and tell Mr. Bloomsbury everything. And then he didn't know that George was following him the whole time. Followed him all the way from Africa, and basically followed him from Africa to the big city and everything. And right now, obviously, Ted is of course with George right now, and so now it's up to both Ted and George to find a way to so of course save the museum and everything. And then along the way, they've of course they were looking through the stars at night, and the fireflies too. And of course, the next day went to the museum, and then went on basically a balloon ride with, like, lots and lots of balloons. Not a hot air balloon, if y'all know what I mean. Like, if you've seen the movie, you'll know exactly what I mean. And then Ted had an idea to save the museum, and so he asks a good friend of Ted's. I forgot his name, but he's like a scientist, stuff like that. So they borrowed his truck, and they borrowed his I think it was like something where it makes, like, images look bigger and stuff like that, like the ones you see in school and stuff like that. I think it's like, I mean, it's kind of like a projector, but y'all know what I mean, right? Like, like if you take something small, like put it on like the table, it makes like the camera kind of makes it look bigger. Yeah, if y'all know what I mean. So, anyways, and then Junior, when he sees what Ted and George have done, like obviously like for saving them, like for saving the museum and everything, like make the idol look bigger and everything. And so Junior obviously has a devious plan. So he pours the coffee into that projector thing or whatever you call it, and then gives the latte to George, and then George kind of got blamed for it, and then all of a sudden like the they're about to give up hope and everything, and then Ted and George are now realizing something, like basically the light was reflecting like on the small idol, and it was actually like a map of some sort. So they headed back to Africa and found the giant idol, and the museum was saved. And of course, basically Junior's plan of tearing down the museum and turning it into parking lots has of course been foiled, because obviously the bad guys they do not get the happy ending. The good guys do, which I'm pretty sure we all know that, right? And of course, ever since then, Ted has been taking good care of George, and they became the best of friends. So what do I think about the story? Well, the story, of course, has a pretty meaningful message of what's important in life, and of course, pretty heartwarming, and yeah, I thought basically the message and everything was pretty good and pretty heartwarming too. So overall, the story was pretty good, pretty great, in my personal opinion. Now let's talk about the characters. So obviously, Curious George, definitely the cutest little monkey, and of course, Ted, voiced by Will Ferrell, does a pretty great job in this movie. Now, unfortunately, Will Ferrell does not come back to voicing Ted in Curious George 2 or 3 or any other movies or stuff like that. Yeah, Ted's voiced by somebody else. I forgot his name, but he's a pretty good voice actor. And of course, you got Mr. Bloomsbury, voiced by Dick Van Dyke, pretty nice man. And then you have Junior Bloomsbury, the villain in this film, voiced by David Cross. I mean, of course, you know him. He's a brat. He's devious, and yeah. And then you have Drew Barrymore voiced by you have Drew Barrymore voicing Maggie, which, like I said, she's basically Ted's girlfriend. pretty great female character in this film. And yeah. So overall, characters are pretty good in this movie. And now let's talk about the animation. The animation looks astonishing, looks beautiful. Like when I first saw this, I was like, wow, the animation looks pretty good. Like the animation for the characters, and then like the scenery and stuff like that looks pretty good. And now let's talk about the soundtrack. Now the songs are of course done by Jack Johnson, which he does a wonderful job. Like we all know his songs in this movie, like Upside Down, and the other one is Talk of the Town, I believe that's what it's called. And Jungle Gym, that's also a good one. And a couple of other good ones too. Those are also really good. And of course the music score is really amazing. Like Jack Johnson, you did a really nice job with the songs and everything in this film. And I'm not sure who did the score. I'm not sure if it was... Yeah, I don't think the music score was done by Jack Johnson. I mean, either if it... Like, I know Jack Johnson did the songs, but I don't think he did the score. I think the score may be done by somebody else. If somebody, let me know down in the comments who did the score. Yeah. But overall, the soundtrack's pretty great. Definitely worth listening to. And on to my final thoughts. So overall, do I recommend Curious George? The answer to that is yes, of course. This is really amazing. This feels like... It feels kind of underrated. Like, it feels like a lot of people don't even talk about this film. Like, I remember as a kid, I saw it in theaters once, thought it looks really, really good in theaters. And then when we finally got it on DVD, I think we got it on DVD like around Christmas time, I want to say, or no, probably like somewhere in the fall, or maybe we got it for Christmas. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, we saw this movie like on DVD like so many times. It's a really great film. We absolutely love this movie. So, so for me as a movie lover, and of course I do love Curious George, and I used to watch the Curious George show on PBS and Netflix and everything. And um, yeah, can't really explain why I love this movie, but of course the animation's pretty good. It made me laugh, made me cry. It's just really good. And like, if you love Curious George, this one's for you. Or if you just love animated movies from Universal Studios, or if you just love animated movies in general, you should definitely watch this film. This is definitely worth your time, and definitely worth the money. And of course, you should definitely get the Blu-ray copy, because obviously the Blu-ray quality is better than DVD. But of course, if you don't have a Blu-ray player, if you just have a DVD player, if you just have, I'm sorry, I'm talking too fast. If you just have a DVD player, don't worry. There's also a DVD copy of the movie. Well, that about wraps up this video. See you all next time. Bye.